shit fucking sucks.
You're faking a smile with the coffee to go. You tell me your life's been way offline. You fall to pieces every time. And I don't need no carrying on. Cause you had a bad day. You're taking one down.
We're switching up the vibes here, Ty.
Here we go.
Let's go. We need to get this energy back up.
Get it up.
So we went 6 and 7.
One
That's
time.
okay. One time we have one losing week. It's week 6 too.
What, are we going to cry about it?
No. So we had one bad day.
Oh, no.
It's time to dial back in. You have to sleep the dream. You have to dream the dream. Come on, get me right, Eric Thomas. Let's go.
Let's go, Thomas.
Here we go. All right, Ty. Week 7. Here we are. See it. You gotta be possessed with the dream. Meek Mill, the Eagles, Philly, stand up. All right, here we go, Ty. Let's get hot now. Oh no, man! Oh no, wait, no. Energy's high here, folks. We're back. Stay hot, Ty. Manifesting a good week. We had one bad day, and we're back. We're gonna get hot this week for the people. Stand up, Ty. Call me little bitch. Still lit.
Yo, our bad for losing 1 week, people. You think they'll keep us down? 6 and 7.
6 and 7. 1 unit down.
Whoops.
About
Our
$1
bad.
million up on the year. That's okay.
Yeah, you know, shit happens.
We had
Sorry
one
about
bad
it.
day.
But the thing about it is we come back and we'll be better for it. You know, you learn.
Yep. Best thing about gambling is there's always another bet to be made.
Yep, always.
Yep.
The games keep coming. They just, you know, Thursday, Sunday, Monday. Next year, did you hear they're going to have a game on a Friday?
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, Black Friday is going to have a game next year.
Friday's got a game?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep. So football's here to stay. We're here to keep winning.
Wait, I have a question about that game.
Yep.
Do you get Black Friday deals on the tickets?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. I think Amazon is, you know, broadcasting it, so I'm sure they're going to have something like commercial break, frenzy, scan this QR code, get 50% off any of this type of deal.
Yes.
So,
In the next 5 minutes, you got to go.
yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely going to happen. If not, I'm surprised they don't hire you as a marketing consultant.
Well, they should. Yep.
Yep.
Wouldn't be a bad idea. I could be their NFL ambassador, picks guy. We could be the official podcast. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, Amazon doesn't have an official betting podcast, so
Nope. They need one.
yeah, if you're out there, Amazon, I'm sure you're listening.
Yep.
We're open for that. Well, we would take it into consideration.
Yep. We want to be cheap, of course. Because
Obviously.
we make a lot of money as is, so we
Yep.
don't need it. But
Yep. All right. Well, what's first on the segment today, Ty?
first things first, I just thought it'd be a good point, mainly because I have some discussion to do on the Packers. Little touch base on our teams here.
Yeah, we do needed that.
So Packers back-to-back losses against teams that everyone would say that they should beat traditionally, and they should beat this year as is. Now, as a professional at spinning this in our favor, what have we done for the past decade? Phenomenal regular season, fall off in the playoffs. I like to see some struggle. I like it. You know what? As fans, we need it. As a Brewers fan, missing the playoffs for the first time in 5 years, I needed it because next year I'm going to be hungrier. As a Packers fan who's been spoiled for a long time, we need to see some of this. I still believe they'll turn it around and be fine. Problem is, these are games you got to win on your schedule because it does get tougher. The Packers will be in the playoffs and will be all right. And I think it's kind of cool that to kind of go at it from a different angle. So that's how I'm spinning it for myself.
Yeah.
As I get your bias in the negative way, but as a non-Packers fan, what's been standing out to you in these games?
Yeah, what's been standing out to me is probably like when I watch a Packers game, like I am focused on watching Aaron Rodgers, rooting against him, obviously. There's something not clicking there. I know, like, it could on one play be the receiver's fault. On the next play, it could. There are throws that he's straight up missing because of accuracy, though, and we haven't seen that out of Rodgers in a long time. That is encouraging for me to see because finally Aaron Rodgers is a little bit off. What scares me, though, is a lot of times, like, the Packers have looked bad in the past. I will say this is the worst I've seen the Packers look maybe ever. Like, maybe not ever, but in a long time that I can remember, this is the worst I've seen the Packers look in, like, the last couple weeks. With that being said, like, a lot of times the Packers figure it out in the end. So I'm still scared of them. I'm not counting them out, obviously. What stands out in the last two losses is the defense is not as good as we thought preseason. I thought the defense was scary. Yeah. Something's not clicking on defense, and Aaron Rodgers just doesn't have that connection with the receivers that he did last year.
Aaron Rodgers has been bad. He looks bad. If you're a Packer fan and you're out there saying that this is on the receivers, it's time for you to look yourself in the mirror. We can't just be sitting here as Aaron Rodgers and missing throws, but then shaking our head that a receiver did something else or this or that. Do they maybe run a wrong route, or there's just something off about the depth of maybe the route? That's completely possible. But then you have plays where you have Aaron Jones running down the sideline, has someone beat. That's on Rodgers. You just got to put it in his hands, keep him off the sideline. That's a touchdown. Then you have plays where just the check down to the running back who's wide open, and he's just fading away and throwing it to their feet, not able to make a catch. He has looked bad, and all Packers fans should admit that. I think, again, I believe that this will get turned around, but he for sure has looked bad. So I think any criticism on him is fair. As for the defense, we were excited about that going into the year, and it hasn't been as fun or as good as we thought it would be. Again, something I think can get turned around fine. But yeah, still plenty of optimism, but it's been bad. And then to switch it to the Bears, I guess, coming off a Thursday night stinker.
Yeah.
Where are you at as a Bears fan here?
Thursday night when that game ended, that was just about the most down I've been as a Bears fan in a long time.
We could not have been more wrong on the podcast. Probably sounded like idiots because this came up Friday.
With the over
we're
talk.
like, this is going to be fun. Lots of scoring, this and that.
Yeah. That I was very down because we're better than that team. We were in the red zone. We were on the 6-inch yard line once, didn't score. We were within the 5-yard line the next time, didn't score. Like, in the first half, we should have had 2 touchdowns, and we didn't. That was so discouraging. And in the grand scheme of things, I know Fields gets heat, and, like, I have the bias towards Fields. That guy, week in and week out right now, is battling and putting his ass on the line, both physically and mentally. He's tough. Like, he's really tough, and he's earned my respect. The O-line gives him no time. He's, like, last in the league for, like, O-line efficiency. He holds the ball. Like, his time to pass is the longest in the league, but I think part of that is because he's running around so much. The only reason it didn't go to overtime, did it? Just, like, down towards the end. When Fields scrambled for, like, 50 yards, like, that's the only reason we were down there in the first place. Like, Fields, the only reason that our offense is moving the ball right now is either a lucky run where one of our running backs busted out or Fields is running. Like, the pass game isn't there. Like, the defense isn't there, the O-line isn't there, and the receivers aren't there. What I would say right now is, how can Justin Fields do anything when you have the worst receiving corps in the league and the worst offensive line in the league? I feel bad for him. I know Packer fans are going to give me shit because Justin Fields isn't performing. I'm not putting it on Fields. I'd like to see Fields behind a good O-line and at least one comparable receiver. Our team is not good, though.
Yeah, we had this discussion, I believe, early in the podcast where I said well, I've said this like a million times, so I don't know if I said it on the podcast or not, but I will never, ever, ever understand a team that trades draft capital to get a quarterback when they have nothing to give to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is setting that quarterback up to fail. It doesn't make any sense. Again, I've pretended to be a GM on this podcast a couple times. If I'm a GM, we start with the offensive and defensive line. From there, we go and get other things. Like it's just so easy because I think more than anything, those are the sure hits in the draft. Usually, our offensive and defensive line. Do they miss? Sure, but they don't miss like a lot of other positions miss. Establish that. Spend some draft capital on it. Then go get yourself your quarterback. You have to have halfway decent weapons, like you said too, though. Justin Fields missed a couple throws pretty bad, but yeah, he has no time to even breathe. It's tough. His career's over. It's done.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it. That's why it sucks being a quarterback, because so much of it is what team you get drafted to and what situation you get drafted into. Like, I look at ability-wise, him and Hurts for the Eagles have pretty similar like games. Like, they're both good runners. Fields a little faster. I think Hurts is a little stronger. Passing wise, Hurts probably right now has a little bit more accurate of an arm, but they're similar types of players. The difference is the Eagles have a top 5 O-line and they have solid weapons. They got a good play caller that they're on the same page with. Like, it's so much about who's around you as a quarterback, especially as a young quarterback.
And that's again the GM sort of mindset, I guess, that I'm getting at. That team was built and they went and got Jalen Hurts and gave him a try in the 3rd round. They were probably last year deciding whether or not to draft a quarterback for this year and said, we'll give him another prove it year. And he's been great this year.
Yeah.
And that just makes you luck out as a team. Like, you want to have that option. You want to have someone like Dak Prescott that you get later. Can they end up winning you a Super Bowl? That's something to find out. But Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. So it's like, it can certainly happen.
It's kind of sick how, do you remember in college when Hurts and Tua were at Bama and they were battling and Tua won the job, and then Hurts transferred to Oklahoma and now they're both in the league and they're kind of both doing pretty good. Like, I just think that's cool that they both have eventually figured it out.
Yeah, well, Alabama puts on for everything. They've got Brian Robinson was a backup running back for 4 years there and is now a starter in the NFL.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. So that was just a little check-in. I think we needed that. I had some stuff I wanted to get off my chest, but we can get off of that. Hopefully our teams do something for us this weekend. Again, our bad, especially me. I was talking up the Bears. Well, you guys didn't get a chance to bet it because you didn't hear it till after it was done, but I really thought that was going to be a good game.
Yep. But the good thing out of that game, though, Ty, is both the Fields prop and the Khalil Herbert prop did hit, so we did win money.
Khalil in one carry, huh?
One carry, yeah. I mean, that's not how I expected it to go, but when it did go that way, clearly not mad about that.
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah, no, you did well, and I also had Brian Robinson touchdown, and he was the only one who even scored for Washington, so it was kind of lucky, kind of good for me.
That's right, yeah.
We had our fun, and now it's on to week 7. However, before we get to any picks, everyone's favorite segment,
Blindside. Blindside. You just wanted to say it, huh? Blindside. Go ahead. Just click it.
I got something to say quick.
Okay.
Did you notice? I just noticed this watching the games this weekend. You know, when they do the slow motion camera, like 20 times this weekend, they showed players going, you know, when they are like pissed off and they go, the amount of slow motions I saw of like Tom Brady or like someone else's lips just going like in slow mo. I'm like, can we figure something out here, ABC? Like,
we're better than that.
Yeah. That's just, I just had to get that off my chest.
Slow motion, you can get some wild shots on that. I did not notice that this weekend, so I'll keep my eyes open for this upcoming weekend.
Keep your eye out. If you see it, let me know.
All right, then. Profits Pod, NFL Pod. We've had one college football pick on the pod, but other than that, it's been all NFL.
Yeah.
However, the blind side, we'd be remiss not to mention the league that just got things going, the NBA.
Yeah.
Consistent with our NFL fandom. I am a Bucks fan. You're a Bulls fan.
Consistent.
Now, blindside. I want your championship. And I want... So you're going to give me 3 teams from each conference. I want your championship. I want a team that you think could be good and a team that's going to be way worse than everyone says.
Okay. From each conference.
Each conference, yep.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start with the East. I think who comes out of the East this year is it's going to be the Celtics. I think it's going to be the Celtics. Here's what runs through my head is Celtics got better. They got Brogdon. Watched the game last night, and Tatum looked like an MVP to me. He's just as good, if not better, than he was last year. They didn't lose anything, you know. I didn't see Robert Williams playing out there last night. Is he still there?
Yeah, he just had surgery. He'll be out for a while.
Okay, which kind of happened last year. Like he was hurt and then he came back late. He's a nice piece. They're good. Brogdon's good. Brogdon still has it. As long as they stay healthy, they're I think the best team in the East. I know Philly's got some dogs over there, and I know Giannis is still the best player in the world. I'll say that. The Celtics they're deep. They're deep. So I'm gonna take the Celtics. Shout out Alex Diaz, my dog. He's a big Celtics fan. So I'm taking Celtics out of the East. A team that I think will be worse than what everybody else thinks. The 2 teams that come to mind right now are the Hawks and the Cavs. Reason being because of the additions that they got in the offseason. The Cavs got Donovan Mitchell, and the Hawks got DeJounte Murray, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people think DeJounte Murray is like this dog, and he is a dog on defense. He's long. He's got one of the biggest wingspans for his height in the league. I don't believe in him as much offensively, especially not around the rim. I don't think the Hawks are going to be as good as what people think. I don't know if you could possibly pull up a win total over there or like a seed. I don't think they're better than my Bulls. I'll tell you that.
All right. Well, allow me to look up win totals here while you talk to me. Well, so you're saying both those teams worse, or you think Cavs will be better and Hawks will be worse?
I was just kind of thinking out loud. I'm going to say Hawks are the team. That's my pick for a team that is going to be worse than expectations.
Okay.
Yep. And what was my third category?
Team that you think will be better
Than what people think.
Yep. We got the Hawks at 45.5, the Bulls at 41.5.
Yep. So that's my pick right there. Then I think so. They got the Bulls going 500. My pick for that is the Bulls. Then you want to know why, Ty?
That pick shocks me.
Yeah, no bias here. I hope all the listeners know all about that.
All right.
Got this sweatshirt a couple weekends ago.
Looks good on you.
Yeah, it looks really good on me. Love it. I also got a Bulls jean jacket. It's like a jean jacket, and then it's got like this logo, but it's just like in the corner.
Where'd you get those?
Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
There was this at the State Fairgrounds. Your mom knows all about that.
Yeah,
there was
she's
something
been there.
called Vintage Fest. My buddy from home came down. He's like, "Hey, do you want to go?" I'm like, that sounds like right up my alley, because the cool stuff about vintage clothes is the Bulls were so good in the 90s that half the clothes that are vintage are like Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls, like championship stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that stuff is awesome. So I have a lot of really just Bulls vintage stuff. I don't really get a ton more vintage stuff. But I got this piece because it's a sick piece. 90s Bulls sweatshirt, and then I got another Bulls shirt too.
Good pickups.
Thank you. Good pickups, great pickups. I'm sure you'll see me wearing them and you'll compliment me on them.
Yep.
With that being said, Bulls at 41.5. That's low. Also, their seed is over under 8.5 for like the playoff seed. So I'm gonna take them to finish better than that. Here's why. Lonzo Ball last year missed a lot of the time. Our record last year with Lonzo Ball in the lineup was something like 37-14. And so Lonzo Ball's an X factor, and I know he's not playing right now, but the cleanup surgery that he just had it basically it fixed what was going on. He had a nerve, something impeding a nerve, and that is now not there anymore. So I love Lonzo Ball coming back in a couple months. Give him some time. The biggest thing is Zach LaVine's knee. I need to make sure that knee's doing okay. Longevity of that knee scares me a little bit. But when Lonzo Ball is on the court, which I do believe he's going to be, and when Zach LaVine is on the court, which that is honestly a little bit more of a question mark to me right now, this team's ready to go. We signed Drummond in the offseason, who doesn't move me a ton, but he is a good backup center. And also Patrick Williams, another year of development under his belt. And then Ayo Dosunmu, our starting point guard currently. I really believe in him both defensively and offensively. He's developed. Alex Caruso, defensive X factor. The Bulls are better than 41.5 wins. I'm not saying that they're going to come out of the East because I think the top teams in the East are all title contenders. I'll put us right at that tier 2 in the East, though.
All right. Now, talk to me about the West.
Yeah, about the West. Hard to bet against Steph Curry, although Kawhi's back this year for the Clippers, no?
Yep.
So Kawhi, Paul George out there.
John Wall on him now.
Yeah, John Wall doesn't move me a ton right now. I'm still going to – I know it's a popular pick. The Warriors are just the Warriors. Like, Steph Curry's one of the best players to ever play. He's tough. Clay, honestly, I hate rooting for Draymond. I don't like the guy. I would guess the Warriors are favored to win the championship right now, current odds. I'm going to say the Warriors come out of the West. I know it's a popular pick, although I'm really excited to watch the Grizzlies again this year. I think you're the biggest Ja Morant fan, or like truther that I know.
Big truther. I told everyone I knew to take him over Zion Williamson.
Yeah, you did?
Now, that's still pretty early NBA terms, but who's winning?
You. Ja Morant's fun to watch. He might be a sleeper MVP pick along with Tatum. Yep. Oh, a team that's going to be worse than what people think. The easy answer, I know they're not. The first team that just came to my mind, they're not in the West, but the Nets also just seem like a dumpster fire waiting to happen. But we'll move back to the West. Honestly, the Clippers aren't a bad pick for that because I feel like their best players are always kind of battling like injuries. Like Kawhi's always got something going on. Like Paul George played quite a bit of games last year, but I feel like he's got something going on all the time. Additionally, I'd like to make a comment about the Mavs. I don't think that the way that their team is set up, they can win a championship like ever. You can't run an offense through one guy constantly like they do. They run the offense through Luka so much that like if the other teammates aren't hitting their threes, their kick out threes, like they just rely on the three so much. I'll say, okay, how about this? I'll say the Clippers are going to be worse than what their win total is, which I'm guessing is pretty high because Kawhi's back.
52.5.
Yeah, I'll say that they're a little bit worse than that mainly because of injuries. Team that's going to be better than what? What's the win total for the Grizzlies?
48.5.
Yeah, I'll take the over on Grizzlies. Yep.
All right. I don't necessarily disagree with any of those. I think the Clippers is a good pick because everyone's high on them. And people, if they aren't picking the Warriors, are picking the Clippers.
Yeah.
So go against the grain there. My championship homer pick is Bucks going against the Warriors. I agree with you. Warriors is an easy pick, but that is the pick to make in the West.
Mm-hmm.
I think their depth is absolutely insane. I think the roster as it stands, I don't really see them losing to anyone. I don't know. I can't think of one Western Conference team that I truly think will contend with them.
Yeah.
East being the Bucks. I think we're gonna get some cool things out of the Bucks this year, being that I think some additions have been good. I think Joe Ingles is a bigger addition than I think maybe gets credit for because that's a veteran for a playoff lineup. We got to a lot of points last year where we hit lulls in the playoffs. Joe Ingles, you can hear, if you listen to anyone talk about it, anyone who comes on JJ Redick's podcast and whenever he asks them about who's the biggest shit talker in the league, they're like low-key Joe Ingles, but it's not even low-key anymore because everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
He's a dog. He plays good defense. He can hit a three. You want to think anything about it, about him when you look at him, think that he can do those things, but I think that's a big addition. Chris Middleton's injured to start the year. I think you're going to see a lot of people develop. Chris Middleton get eased back in. The lineups are going to be deep. The Bucks will not go for the 1 seed. They'll probably get the 3 seed, I think, and they'll come out of the East. The 1 seed is going to be the 76ers. They're going to lose in the first round. 2 seed will be the Celtics. 3 seed will be the Bucks.
Who scares you in the East as a Bucks fan?
It would only be Boston.
Boston.
Yeah, no one else. Brooklyn doesn't scare me. I don't see them. Like Kevin Durant and Kyrie, even if they're playing unbelievable, I don't think you're going to get much better of a Kevin Durant than what we got 2 years ago on our run to the finals. And the thing is, we're better, but because we're growing as a team, the Nets are not better, and there's no chemistry on that team. One thing goes wrong, everyone points a finger.
Yeah.
That team does not scare me. 76ers do not scare me. I like what they did. I think they're just doing what you do when you're a good team, but you're not going to win it all. And
Yeah, there's some-
you're going to go hard in the regular season. You're going to get a lot of wins, and you're just not going to do it because you aren't a good team, like a good enough team to get to that level.
Yeah, there's something about the Sixers. They have the talent to be like an upper echelon team in the league, but they just always find a way. I don't know if it's effort or focus or discipline, or they just aren't like the chemistry isn't good enough. But there's something about the Sixers that just doesn't scream like we're ready to win a championship.
Yeah.
You know?
I also think something everyone is forgetting about, Boston looked great last year, and they're getting better too, and they added pieces. The Bucks literally didn't have Chris Middleton. Like, we didn't have our second best player, the person who takes stress off Giannis, the person when the offense isn't going, just let Chris go mid-range, let him get a couple, it calms everyone down with him being out on the court. That's a huge addition. If Danilo Gallinari doesn't get injured preseason for the Celtics, that's a huge piece for them, I think, because that's a weapon off the bench. They did add a lot of people, so yeah, they're the team that scares me in the East. So, team that I think clears their win total, I'll say that for overperforming, because that's kind of the route you went, would be Philly. I think they're going to beat their win total, but I don't think they're good.
What is their win total?
50.5.
Okay.
And then team that will do worse than their win total, I'm going to go with... See, I'm able to look at all these and you weren't, but I mean, that's not even really fun to do. I don't know. There's a lot of teams that I think I like their over. I'm very curious to see what the Pistons do because they're young. I'm curious about the Magic with their youth. Pacers are at 23.5. I see them going under. I don't think there's much on that team.
We've talked about the Pacers a little bit. There's nothing there really. Who's picked to like the bottom 3 teams in the league? Who's picked to be bottom 3?
Spurs 22.5, Rockets 23.5, Pacers 23.5, Thunder 23.5.
Wow. Who do you think's Chet's out? Oh, Chet Holmgren's out for the Thunder.
Thunder are gonna get that Wembanyama guy. They will.
Yeah, they think about Chet and Wembanyama together.
They will get him. I'm telling everyone right now, they will have the 1 pick.
Yeah.
They won't have the worst record. They're gonna win the lottery. That will happen. That will be the team.
That would be wild to watch those two play together. I hate Chet Holmgren with a passion. I'm just gonna go out and say that. We've talked about it, boys that are listening. It's just one of. I don't want to go too hard on a guy. He just got one of those faces that you just want to punch.
Yeah.
I just gotta say it.
Yeah, a guy you just brought up earlier, you recall in the summer league. Oh no, that wasn't actually against Chet Holmgren. Never mind. DeJounte Murray. On Paolo.
Yeah,
That shit.
DeJounte rubbed me the wrong way during that too. Like I thought he was a little irrational.
Yeah, that was too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thunder team don't. I mean, I see them. I don't know. I've liked the way being a Thunder fan. Like, it's one of those teams where you can at least have optimism about everything. The Bucks, for the longest time, our slogan was "Own the Future," and it got to a point where it was a little repetitive because one time we got the 2 pick with Jabari, but other than that, we weren't really getting high draft picks. It was just luck of the draw with Giannis. But with the Thunder acquiring draft picks, being in the lottery year after year, there's actually something to look forward to with that, rather than a team, like the Magic, who have just sucked forever, the Kings that have sucked forever, especially the Kings. Whatever the Kings are doing makes no sense.
Whatever they're doing, do the opposite.
Haven't
The
been in the playoffs since 2006, and you're making trades. You're trading away guys like Halliburton, who says he wants to be there and is one of the young stars in the league, for Sabonis, who's not. He's a good player, but he's not a difference maker. So.
No. Yeah, that team, sometimes they even have pretty good skill. Like De'Aaron Fox can play a little ball. He's the type of guy that would be a nice number 2 on a team, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess, and then to move to the West, yes, Golden State Warriors, they will be making the finals. And then overperform, underperform. Let's go underperform. I don't know. I'll say the Timberwolves, I guess. I mean, they made a lot of noise.
Good pick. Yeah, I forgot about the moves that they made.
But I'm just kind of going against the grain there. They're at 49.5, so I'll go against them, and then I'm going to go against you. I don't know if I don't think you actually made them pick. Maybe you did. I like the Mavericks going over 48.5. I think I was talking to one of our loyal listeners, JB. I brought this up to him. I think during the playoffs last year, during the Mavericks series, I said it would be insane for Rudy Gobert to play with Luka, because Luka, unbelievable passer. He can do the Harden thing to the big guy, but he needs someone who can be his rim protector, play some defense.
Yeah.
They weren't able to get Gobert, but they brought in guys like Christian Wood and then JaVale McGee. I think when you can't get someone like Rudy Gobert to go get those two guys, Christian Wood, not necessarily as much of a defender. JaVale McGee, underrated defender. I think those moves are big for them, especially in the regular season. I see them hitting this mark. The key is to what you said. If Luka goes down, that team doesn't have much because it is a one-star team. But I like the Mavs this year. I think they're going to be a good team.
Okay. Yeah, the honestly, the addition of JaVale being around the rim could be big. I also think about another team that runs kind of the same way as the Nuggets, with Jokic. Jokic does a nice job running. He basically controls the whole offense and ball movement. Those are the two guys in the league that really control the whole offense. Like the ball runs through them.
Yeah, the pace of the whole game, really.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to watch. But it just hasn't, neither of them have really had. They've had success, but not enough to make noise.
Yeah, it's proven to win in the regular season, but then when you get to the playoffs, everything's up a level, and that obviously that's what it is about every player. You have to prove it once you get to there. But as far as regular season wise, yeah, they're fun.
Yep.
Mavericks too. They got the G League guy Jaden Hardy later in the draft. He fell a bunch. I could see someone like that being good for their team. So that's good. Those are the teams I'm kind of going with. Excited about the NBA season. Reflection on night one. I don't know if you were able to tune into both games. The Lakers look absolutely horrendous. That team is so bad. Dude. Another team, when you talk about GMs, what are they doing? It is the worst way to assemble a team. They are horrible. Warriors looked unbelievable. Philly looked like James Harden's supposed to be their best player, and Boston looked really good.
Yeah, I'd like to just go negative Nancy here and talk about the Lakers. LeBron's kind of wasting the last good years of his career. It's not that I'm too mad about it, but what are they doing? Did you see they made a literal highlight tape of AD's screens last night? He doesn't even know how to screen people anymore. AD might be...
Well, he'll injure himself.
Yeah.
He's the biggest pussy in the world. I fucking hate that guy, and I hate him because... If you're not a Bucks fan and you're watching, you were probably someone that fucking said Anthony Davis is a better player than Giannis. And you're all delusional. You're all idiots. That guy's injury prone. And the worst part about Anthony Davis is he's can barely get down the court. I can't get back on defense. You get him the ball on offense, jab.
Yeah.
He's completely fine. Pump blows by, throws in the layup. But then he's after he makes the layup, it's back to
LeBron does the same thing sometimes too, but I agree.
He's the worst.
Yeah, they got a bunch of pussies on that team. Guys that AD, I get the frustration with AD, Ty. The other thing is people crowned him a top 5. Remember those years where people were saying AD is a top 5 player in the league? You remember those years?
Yeah, everyone just wanted to get on the hot new thing. They thought it was so cool to say that he was good. No.
Yeah, no, AD, he's really fallen off. And when he was good, he was pretty good. But Nowadays, like last year, the Bulls had trade rumors for AD, and I'm like, dude, do not touch that guy. Please do not touch that guy.
He's not going to give you 50 games in a season.
No, and when he's out there, I don't even I don't even care when he's out there. Like he doesn't move me as a player that we're playing against.
He's annoying. Do you have most hated players? We can end up with that.
Well, Rodgers will always be the number one most hated player, but in the NBA, I just had to stick one to Rodgers there.
Yeah.
I hate that guy. In the NBA, I don't like DeJounte Murray pissed me off this offseason, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Draymond, I respect, but I don't really like he has his podcast, which ours is 10 times better than his podcast, but his podcast, like he goes on there and he tries to talk like he's like the smartest dude in the NBA, like he's so smart, but then he does shit. And every time he does something dumb, he just backs it up by saying like, "Oh, I was just getting in their head." Like at some point, you need to like chill the hell out and be like he just got done punching Jordan Poole in the face. Like I don't care who you are and like what you're trying to say about your strategy of the game. That was not something that was like strategic. Like every time he does something, he's like, "Oh, that was very strategic." Like you just wouldn't understand. Like I just see this game at a different like view and level. It's like, no, Draymond, sometimes you react on impulse and you still flop all the time. You still do dirty plays all the time. And he just pisses me off. I would say Draymond, although I really don't hate him that much.
Chet, you brought in.
Oh, yeah, Chet. Chet just pisses me off because he thinks he's got more drip than he does. His face is just like a skeleton face. And people, honestly, he pisses me off because this isn't even his fault, but people crown him like the next KD. And I just don't think he is. Like, I just don't. And so I guess I kind of hate him a little bit because people are kind of the way you hated AD in a way, at least on the expectation side. Like, he pisses me off because really his fans think he's better than I think he is.
Yeah. Yeah, people, real ones know I'm an OG hater of this guy. Now the whole world hates him, so I've fallen off a little bit. Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Always despised that guy. Literally out of college, I always hated him. I thought he was a loser. Went to LSU, probably got a ton of money. Couldn't even get his team like relevant at LSU, even though he's the number one recruit. Second the season's over, drops out. He just seems like I get other guys might do that. He seems like such a loser. And then everything he's done since, he's the worst. I hate that guy. Russell Westbrook, I've been hating on him for a really long time.
Yeah.
He's someone now where just like, again, everyone knows he's bad, so it's not as fun. Anthony Davis, I hate on hard. And my new favorite guy to hate is Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh, good one, Ty.
I hate him.
Dude, he sucks. Can we go back to like some of those interviews late last year?
Yeah, that's why I hate him. He is the equivalent to Russell Wilson, that guy. He thinks like, everything is so annoying. The answers they give in the interview, and then him saying like, anytime anyone brings up good 3-point shooters, this man, he must have notifications on his phone. Like if a blue check mark tweets about top 3-point shooters, 2K ratings come out. He complains about 3-point shooting. He's in the 3-point contest, which did he win? He might have even won. And he's like saying, I deserve to be here. It's a mission to win this, to stand up for this and that. He just thinks he's the best. You put him on the block. I saw something today or yesterday. Anthony Edwards, 6'4", 234 pounds. Karl Anthony Towns, 7 feet tall, 239 pounds.
Wow.
He's a baby. Put him on the block. Put him to work. That's why they knew. Genius move by them to go get Gobert because Karl Anthony Towns cannot touch the paint.
He's not a center anymore.
He's a loser.
Yeah. Okay, so do you remember last year in the playoffs? I don't know if they were the playing game or what, but the Timberwolves won a big game, and they interviewed Anthony Towns after. And do you know the Kobe Bryant interview where he's like, "Job not done. Job's not done." He like tried to imitate that with like people wouldn't notice. Like they asked him a question, and he like paused for a little bit, just like, and he gave like a really short answer in a deep voice, kind of like how Kobe did. He didn't say "job's not done," but like. He had the same like vibe and attitude, and everyone tweeted out like, "Do people does Cat not think that we don't like understand what he's trying to do here?" And then like after that, people dove into like Karl Anthony Towns videos, and his voice, like his natural voice, is
Yes.
actually high.
Yes.
Like when he does interviews, he like deepens his voice, but he's got a voice like a little bit like beer. I don't know if we can like pull that up,
I'm
but
trying to find.
this man, like, there's like a video of him like laughing, and it's like it's high.
Yeah. I searched his voice on YouTube and nothing really pops to the top.
Yeah.
Let me go on Twitter real quick. But yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. It is so funny.
Grade A cornball. That's my new favorite word because of you. I
Yeah.
like cornball.
Cornball. He's the epitome of it. He sucks.
Yeah, he's a cornball.
So everyone will start hating him soon because I'm just a genius at getting ahead of the curve on who we should all hate.
Yeah, you're good at that.
All right, come on. High voice. That's got to be it.
There's the interview though, right there.
Yeah, it says he's caught changing his voice. Let's see.
Oh, really?
Let's see for the people.
Hey, what's good, guys? Welcome back to Abdul Highlights. And in this video,
Free ads for this guy.
It's crazy because
Yeah.
all that they took him off the court to put him even closer to the locker room. So I was like, all right.
He was like, all right.
About you. What the what? They really did. What the what? How did
This
you
is
find
the-
your shots in this game?
go get him.
See, that's what I'm saying. Just go get him.
Just came here to do my job. Do my job. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Listen to start this again.
Subscribe.
It's crazy because after all that, they took him off the court to put him even closer to the locker room.
That's Carl Anthony Towns'
Yeah, listeners,
voice.
we'll tweet that video out for you on the Profits because that's worth watching.
Yeah.
That's worth watching. That's a great video. Whoever put that on.
All right, yeah. So big ups on the NBA season. Probably won't give out picks because it's more of a day-to-day thing than NFL.
Yeah.
But if you follow us on Twitter, the picks may be tweeted. So that's a place to look at us. Had some success in the NBA. Also had some slumps in the NBA. So I'm not saying you should tail them, but I might put some stuff out there.
Yep.
Guy to follow for long, odd NBA parlays is the Parlay Professor.
It's true.
He last year hit, I don't know, he was up like a couple $1,000s through like 3 weeks of the NBA on like long player prop parlays. Give him a follow.
Wasn't he doing NCAA a little bit or no?
Yep, did some college basketball. He's around. He's got some picks for you. That's a guy you want to look for. But as far as people, those are more long shots. We're more guaranteed winners. We're through 6 weeks.
yep.
We've given you 5 winning weeks, and we lost you 1 unit last week. So it is now time for everyone's favorite part of the podcast, the locks.
Yep.
Fanny, combination lock, coming your way. Charlie?
Charlie, yeah, this one's for Jared Bennett, Barrett Jennett. This one's for you. Charlie Kirk, Christian Kirk is going over. What's the line at, Ty? I forgot what it is.
52.5.
52.5. Okay. So here's my thinking on this. He's got a lot of unrealized air yards, which I'm a big fan of that
Yeah,
stat.
you love that stat.
It's a big stat for me, and it's been proving that, obviously the success speaks for itself with that
Yeah.
stat. And so this guy's ready. The first few weeks he was hot and he was hitting his overs, and then the last 2 weeks he's been cold. And so have the Jaguars. I think the way that they get back offensively is to stop getting stupid ETN involved as much as they do, and get the ball to Christian Kirk. Get the ball to Christian Kirk. Stop doing those double reverses with Agnew, and get the ball to Christian Kirk. I didn't hate his over on receptions. I don't know what that line is at. I just saw the yards line. So that's why we're going with the yards, 53.5, 52.5?
52.5.
52.5. Christian Kirk's ready to have another good week, and I think Trevor Lawrence is right there with them. The connection's back this week. Excited to see that connection back, especially to benefit my back home fantasy league.
Great combination lock. We are 1-0. Now moving to me. I think I sent you a text, and this is kind of funny, this pick based on the text I sent you. I said, I'm not allowed to pick any more Packers, and I'm not allowed to do any more over on rushing yards.
Yes.
So I'm coming at you with Brian Robinson, who plays against the Packers, over 12.5 carries.
Get the guy some carries. How about that?
Yeah, so we're not going the rush yards. We're not going with the Packers. We're going against the Packers. Brian Robinson over 12.5 carries.
Okay.
I tried telling people, I tried letting them know Antonio Gibson was filling up water bottles preseason.
He was filling those things.
Water bottles. You can't be an RB1 filling water bottles for your team. You can't do it.
No.
We knew the second Brian Robinson was back from getting shot, he was taking over this backfield. He's back. He's taken over. Antonio Gibson, go fill the water bottles, my guy. Run them out during timeouts for the team. Maybe be like, hey guys, remember me? Maybe I can get in here for a play.
Brian, can I get you some water, Brian? Brian, you're looking great out there, man.
Brian, let me in. Hey, Coach Rivera, can I get in there?
Put me in, coach, please.
Yeah, no, he's done. Pack your bags, my guy. Brian Robinson over 12.5 carries.
Yeah.
He's RB1.
I just want to know how that conversation went. Like, did Rivera or RB coach over there be like, hey, Antonio, those water bottles over there, they're not going to fill themselves. Get on it. Giddy up. Like, how do you just start filling water bottles?
Tough look.
Someone
Really
sent
tough
him to
look.
it. Unless he just did it out of the goodness of his heart.
You can't do that. You can be out of the goodness of your heart. You can help the equipment people, maybe carry them back in after practice.
Hold the door for people in the
You
facility.
can do stuff like that. You cannot be filling them.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't.
Bring cookies in for the players. Like, there are some things you do out of the goodness of your heart. Wash the quarterback's car, but you just don't. You don't be filling up the water bottles. That's for the water boy.
Nope. So now that we are 2-0, let's move to the deadbolt. I'll start on this one. The line isn't out yet. I'm telling you, the goodness of my heart, I'm giving you an old flexible play here. You're taking Michael Gallup over whatever receiving yard number you see hit your book.
Okay, yeah.
I believe Dak will be back. Whether he's back or not, I do not care. Michael Gallup, working his way back from the ACL last year. He's ready to go. He's going over his receiving yard mark. Big player, going to make big plays. I got my eyes on him. Don't know the line. Take the over.
He's a big play guy. He's a big play guy. I feel like that line's going to be what if CD's line was like
63 or something.
63, Gallups will be probably 45 to 50.
Yeah.
Probably, I would say anywhere from 40. I would say in the 40s. That's a good play. He gets a lot of
play.
deep targets, and you know what? I like it. I like Gallup. And honestly, to come back from an ACL, sometimes it does take a little bit of time to get through your, you can run routes on air and you can run one-on-ones, but it's a little different when you got safeties, linebackers flying around.
I think to add reassurance to this, if Dak is in fact back, he has been listening to people say, should Cooper Rush be the starter? He's getting wins. With the Philly game, everyone put that to bed. But he's heard that. He's motivated by that. He played really bad week 1 against the Buccaneers. You're going up against one of the easiest defense to score on in the Lions. This is going to be a bloodbath. This is going to be a lot of yards for the Cowboys. I love this play. Fanny, you're deadbolts.
Yep. Can you remind me? Oh, Patrick Mahomes, right?
Yep.
So we're going to go Mahomes with the second week in a row, or maybe I missed a week with Mahomes. I think it was 2 weeks ago I took Mahomes. Yep, it was 2 weeks ago. And that hit. And so we're going to let it hit again because it hit last week. I think he had over
275.5. We got the sets.
Yep. Oh, yeah. 275.5 is the line for this one. Keep an eye on the line. I like it anywhere up to 280. But here's the thing. Mahomes is just reassuring himself as the best player in the league. He's the best quarterback. He's the best thrower of the football. It's hard to – it's kind of like taking Curry threes. It's always a good pick. Honestly, in terms of stats and analysis, I didn't put a ton of research into this one. It's more that you're riding with the best player in the league because he's hot and he's going to stay hot. I like this one to hit simply because I ride with Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a dog.
Yeah, taking his over is, it's always fun because he's gonna have a shot at that no matter what.
Yep.
Moving to the Mortis locks, Than, I got a fun one for you this week.
Okay, Ty.
The New York Football Giants play against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Do you know each team's record?
Well, the Giants only have one loss, right?
Yep.
Are they 5-1? Is it?
I believe they're 5-1,
Dude.
or they're 4-1. Did they have the bye yet? I don't think so. 5-1.
Dable and Sirianni, and both in the NFC East. The NFC East kind of tough. Okay, I'm getting off on a tangent, but the NFC East is kind of hard. Yeah, okay, 5-1.
And
Giants.
the Jaguars are
Well, they started off hot. What are they? Are they 3-3 or 4-2?
2-4.
They're 2-4.
Yes, everyone loves the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence. This guy's good. Another guy I've been a day one hater of, Trevor Lawrence. Add it
Yeah,
to my
you have.
resume. I'm not saying that's a winner. I just want, in case I talk about this next year or something, let's remember that. Now, a 5-1 team going to a 2-4 Jaguars team who's had 2 pretty bad losses in a row.
Yeah.
Now we got to think, what would that line be? The Giants, a team people don't really respect, are getting respect now, right? Because they've beaten the Packers, they've beaten the Ravens. Pretty good wins. So they have
Yeah.
solid wins. They're not playing nobodies.
Respectable.
So have you seen this line?
No, I like the line to be Giants by 3.5 or 4.5. That's my line. But that's my line. That's my guess that the line would be, not that the line that I think it should be.
Your guess is Giants -3.
Yeah, I would assume the Giants are favored. I might even go as low as 2.5, just now that I think about it. But yeah, I think the Giants should be favored.
This is why it's the Mortis people. Jaguars are -3.
Jaguars are favored.
Tell me how that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Vegas is telling you who the winner is here, people. They told you last week. They told you with the Chiefs Bills. The Bills going into Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes' first time as home as an underdog. Patrick Mahomes, who's 7-0-1 against the spread. We're letting him be an underdog against the Bills. Bills -3. What? Bet the Chiefs? No. They're telling you who's going to win.
Yep.
We had the discussion last week. I said I like the Cowboys +6.5 going to Philly. You said, I think that line should be more like -4. So really, I think I'd go with Philly because they're telling you who's going to win. Vegas does this, people.
Vegas tells us.
And another wild thing about this line, it opened at -1. 65% of the money is going to the Giants, and it's moved to -3.
That's reverse line movement. Dude, this is a
People.
lock, Mortis.
People.
Hammer it, Ty.
People, Mortis, people. Easy.
This is a good bet. This is a really
Yep,
good bet.
yep, I love
Listeners,
this bet.
reverse line movement is not something you see very often, and we're seeing
love
it.
this bet.
Yep. Okay. So this is is this a 3, 4, 5 unit play?
I traditionally bet all my locks the same. I don't do the Thanny Mortis method model
That's okay.
unit thing. However, I should put more weight on my picks versus props because I've been pretty solid. 2-unit play. On
2 unit play on this one. 2 unit play. You heard it, folks.
2 unit play.
I am standing by this play with Ty.
2-uniter.
I typically stand with his plays, but I stand
I love
even
this one.
closer on this
Love it.
play.
All right, Than.
yep.
Take us home. Your Mortis is now moved to. Are you 8-2 now?
Yeah, it'd be 8-2. 8-2 on the Mortis. Yep.
Phenomenal record. What do you got
Yep.
for us?
So this one's going out to my dog, Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin's
Dog.
Chris Godwin's gonna go over. I think I have 63.5, right?
6.5.
66.5.
Yep.
66.5.
Love that up to 70, don't you?
Yeah, I love that up to 74.5. I got him going in the 90s this week. I really do. I got him going in the 90s, and here's why. Did you see Tom Brady getting all frustrated last week?
Yes.
You don't want a frustrated Tom Brady.
No.
They're figuring it out this week. Chris went over there for dinner. Said, "Hey, I know Giselle's not around anymore. Just let me come over. I'll bring some cookies." And
Yep.
they probably got a movie going
Yep.
after dinner, almost as if like Chris Godwin was filling in for Giselle.
Almost.
Almost. So really like what Chris Godwin's been doing. Mike Evans didn't do that just because he's not as cool as Chris. Chris Godwin gets the nod here. Back from the ACL and then the hamstring. He is now healthy. He is now fine. I love what he does in this offense. He catches a lot of balls over the middle. Mike Evans is more that outside guy. Chris Godwin's going to catch one this week, and he's going to take off for another 30 yards. Chris Godwin, he just hasn't been playing as up to the expectations that that I hold him to, and that I think Tom Brady holds him to, and that Chris holds Tom to. Like that connection, it hasn't been as good as it should. He also has a lot of unrealized air yards, a couple drops, which Chris Godwin will clean up. I love Chris Godwin over 66.5. The dude's money. Tom Brady's going to be back. He's the greatest. I know they've been struggling, but I like Chris Godwin 66.5 this week.
Fans Mortis guy off an ACL. My deadbolt guy off an ACL. My combo guy off gunshot wounds. We got the return of the boys this week.
Should we do a little a return parlay? Just a sprinkle return parlay?
I like sprinkle return parlay. Okay. So the sprinkle return parlay, 1 unit on it. Brian Robinson over 12.5 carries. Yep. Michael Gallup over whatever his receiving yards are. Chris Godwin over 66.5 receiving yards, bringing you at plus 320 per my numbers. And you're welcome.
Yeah, I think that'll even be higher. I think that could get up to like, if those are all even lines, I would guess that gets, yeah, plus 350. Yeah. Okay, good.
All right, so big bounce back week for us. I'm already eyeing 3 picks that I'm tweeting out. So make sure you're following at Stay Hot Ty on Twitter, at the Profits Pod on Twitter, at the Big Superior 8. Thanks for listening to week 7. Shout out to the real ones listening. If you've made it to this point, leave a comment. Let us know. How about this? First person to comment the word. What should the word be?
Oh God. What do we want the theme of the word to be? Are we talking like gambling? Are we talking sports, NBA? First person to comment their biggest cornball in the NBA.
How about this? Yes, you have, but include the word cornball in your comment. First time I see cornball in the comments, that person's getting a free $10 on the, what do we call it? The cripple parlay or something?
The return parlay.
The return parlay.
Yeah.
You get a free bet on that. First person to comment cornball. Thank you for listening. Profits week 7. Peace.